Snap Fitness in Grand Island offers 24-hour access, free weights, strength training machines, cardio equipment, nutrition plans, and personal trainers. They'll work with you to help you reach the goals you have in mind. Located at 217 East Dolly Park Road in GI.
Welcome to In the Hoop. I'm George Ayoub with Bobby Mills, the 1,000-yard guy. Special Thursday edition.
Yes.
We call this the flu in the hoop.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. It wasn't interesting for me, though.
So you're up and around.
Up and around, doing better. Elisa Reed's behind the camera. Thank you, Elisa. I'm going to talk high school hoops. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Girls districts start on Monday.
That is quick, isn't it?
It seems like we've really raced through the season. Let's talk some boys basketball here. Grand Island Senior High, a good win over Lincoln East.
Road win.
Got a road win against a good Lincoln East team. And so this weekend they have Lincoln Northeast and Elkhorn South, both games at home. Northeast is 7-12 on the season, but I think they're better than that. You know, there's some good teams in Lincoln. And so that Lincoln, that city championship has been tough. Of course, Elkhorn South 18-0.
Oh boy,
leading Class B. They're ranked in the all class.
Up to sixth or fifth or something.
Fifth or sixth.
Yeah, boy, they've got quite a team. But you know, you never know about senior high. I was there the night they played Omaha Benson, and I don't think Elkhorn South can look past that game.
No, I don't think anybody can, particularly at home. And so the Islanders, and then the week after, on the following Tuesday, on the 18th, Islanders go to Hastings and renew that rivalry.
That's great.
Yeah, that was a rivalry when you and I were in high school.
Yes, sir, and I bet that's great that they've got that back together.
Yeah, that is. So we'll look forward to that. The Northwest Vikings, they're going to head into, of course, Islanders district will depend on the points. And right now, I looked today, it looks like they would go to Bellevue West, but that can change anytime. I know Stu had them going to Norfolk last week in his projections. Did you have a different projection?
No, I didn't. Doesn't South Sioux City host if they host one and Grand Island would go there? I don't know why they'd host, but
yeah, that's where he had them in South Sioux. Norfolk, South Sioux, and gosh, I can't think of the fourth.
I don't. One of the Papillion teams. I don't know, but other than Norfolk, it looked like they could get to the finals.
Yeah,
of that.
They could. So you know, a lot of that depends on the very last game that's played at the end of the week. Before district. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Northwest boys, their district is Aurora, Hastings, Holdridge, and Lexington.
Wide open.
And of course they just got a win over Holdridge, 52-45.
That was a good win.
Yeah, you know, and the kids that were injured are back. Derek Nealis is back playing good basketball, and so you know they've really went through a lull there where they didn't score a lot of points. Had a hard time putting the ball in the basket, but. You know, we've talked about this before. If Coach Rathke can get them to play consistently for 4 quarters, they're going to be they'll be fine in their district. Yep,
and they'll have a chance to do it Saturday against a Wahoo Newman team that's brutally tough on defense and likes to run. So that'll be a good. And Casey Dahlcotter is back, and really he's the only 3-point shooter in the starting lineup that they have. So that's a good.
So
good
Casey
addition.
can get hot. That's going to keep him honest on the outside. Sure. Beatrice the night before, 15-1 Beatrice.
Ooh, what a weekend!
That's a tough weekend. Both games at home, interestingly enough. So that's Newman on Saturday, Beatrice on Friday for the Northwest boys. Grand Island Central Catholic off a big weekend. We got a win at Lexington, and then behind John Rowader's. We covered the game. He was so hot from the corner with threes. They beat Wahoo, number 1 team in C1.
Isn't that something?
In points. Interestingly enough, I looked it up. Central Catholic's still 14th in power points in C1. There's some good C1 teams.
There are, and the Lincoln Journal-Star knocked them up to 4th.
In their rankings.
Because of that victory over Wahoo. And I think Stu from the World Herald has them rated about right. You know, at 10th, but you know, with those 2 games in the Centennial Tournament, you can cross off.
Right.
I mean, they didn't have Johanna, they didn't have Eli.
They weren't at full strength, and I think they played that well, and they got him back, and they're ready to play. And so I think what we saw on Saturday night when we covered the game was good chemistry.
Yep.
They moved the ball real well. Johanna's always a force inside. Played inside out. Rowader got hot, and you know Brett Weens can get hot in the other corner.
Yep.
Got great defense from Stevenson and Allen, and so they had a nice ball game.
They did. They're looking forward to the sub district is a good district with Adams Central and
Central City, St. Paul, and Wood River. Well, so you know they're going to have to once the regular season's over, they're going to have to strap it on, and
that's right.
There's no easy games after that.
How about St. Cecilia Friday? How about that?
Friday, right? Yeah, frying pan and fire here. They have St. Cecilia's Friday, and they're number 1 in Class C2.
Yes, they are.
And they are a young team, but very well coached and just do really well. Saturday, then at the Heartland Hoops Classic, which you'll be part of, announce a few games. Southern Valley, who was 18-2.
Yeah, they've got
I think they're 4th in C2. So
they are.
Yeah, Central Catholic's got a big weekend.
They do.
Yep. And then they're going to end with their rival game in St. Paul. That'd be next week. Heartland Lutheran got a win last night at
long drive.
Elkhorn Valley up to Tilden. Yeah, 57-36. Jake Simonson set a school record for threes, and so they're still playing well, 10-7. And Harvard, Red Cloud, Shelton are in their district.
Good sub-district. Very good.
Sub-district.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Thank you, Bobby.
Very good.
That's a good sub-district. Very competitive. So it's going to be interesting when district time rolls around for all the boys' teams.
I think they have a good shot. If Giltner's on the other side, they still have a good shot.
I think they have a good shot. One of the things when we saw the game they did against, was it St. Ed? And, if they get hot with that run and gun offense, you're going to have to score 80 to beat them.
I know. It's that when they start draining trays, it's really tough. It's kind of discouraging for the other team because what can you do?
Right.
If they want to shoot from 25 feet, let them shoot. Well,
they do. What? They do, and they make some.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a run through of the boys. We're going to be back after this message from Snap Fitness. We're going to talk about the girls and have our peak performers.
What's the most centrally located gym in Grand Island? Try Snap Fitness, a 24/7 gym that's loaded with state-of-the-art equipment from Cybex for both strength and cardio. Located at 217 East Dolly Park Road in Grand Island.
All right, we are back with In the Hoop. George Ayoub, Bobby Mills talking high school hoops. The Islanders girls on a 6-game losing streak. Got to get the ship righted here. They've played some tough teams. Benson,
they've had a brutal schedule.
Kearney, Omaha North.
Northeast. Is it Northeast this week?
And they have Northeast this week.
Tony Tupper comes in.
Yeah, Tony Tupper comes to town, and so it's tough to right the ship against a team as skilled and the size and length that Northeast has. So they're 16-3 as Northeast. Islanders come in at 6-12, but then they'll have Hastings. They're going to get that rivalry game back. Lincoln North Star is a game that on paper they should win, and also at Columbus. So the Islanders, can improve their standing in districts by getting a couple wins down the stretch here.
How important is that?
Yeah,
boy.
Getting those wins will really help the Islanders, depending on where they're going to go. Class B, the Northwest Vikings, they've moved them down in a couple polls to 4th and 5th.
Well, they knocked them down quite a ways.
But in power points, they're still number 1.
Yeah.
And in power point margin, fairly significant. I mean, it's 2.2, but
yeah, that's a lot.
They're still number 1, and so they have Beatrice at 10-8, McCook at 9-10, and Aurora at 7-11. Games they should all win.
Beatrice will be a good matchup. That's a nice matchup.
Yeah, that'll be a nice matchup. Beatrice is good.
Yeah, they are.
They have them at home, but assuming they win out, they could be still end up being the number 1 seed. I just don't.
Yeah, and they snuck in on I shouldn't say sneak in, but they snuck in on a wild card last year.
Yeah.
They were still number 1, so that's very important that they keep
it's very important. So
lofty status.
Coach Herzberg has them. They've lost 2 games, and they lost the game to Holdridge, which is a terrific team.
Oh, boy.
There's nothing. That's not an upset.
No.
That's a great basketball team. We've seen them play, and then they come right back at Holdridge and beat them.
Which is really big in their minds, I'm sure.
So that's the mental toughness that we talked about with the Viking girls the whole season. Senior-led team, been there, done that, and so they'll be there right at the end. That's my prediction. Central Catholic girls, they have Blue Hill,
who has a good girls team,
and they have a good girls team at 17-1.
Yeah.
Hello, and so Blue Hill's going to on the 13th. That's going to be a tough matchup for them. 9-12 on the season. They got a win last night over Wood River, 42-40.
That Wood River's got a nice team.
Wood River's pretty good.
That's very good. That's a very good win.
So that's a good win, and again up and down at 9-12. But they get a few wins under their belt. They maybe kind of try to close this thing out close to 500.
They're like senior high girls. They always play hard.
Yeah.
They never do not play hard.
And I think the thing about it is they're always going to be in a close game. They're always going to be in it because they're never going to just hang their heads, get down by 10, and think that's it.
That's what I like about that team. Both those teams.
Yeah. And then the Heartland Lutheran girls. You notice the end of the season when I have to go to the second page of your body.
Yeah. Did they play last night?
Alcorn. They beat Alcorn Valley pretty easily. So I might have the wrong sheet here.
But it's really nice to see them having a great year.
Yeah, 56-27 was their score.
That's a great thing to see.
Yeah, they're having a great season, and so they have Nebraska Lutheran 13-4. That's a tough matchup and a tough D1 matchup. Heartland Lutheran's 9-9 on the season. They end with Burwell. Conceivably, they could go into districts at 500.
That's been a long time.
Harvard, Red Cloud, and Shelton, and so that is really a terrific season for the girls down at Heartland Lutheran.
And that sub-district lines up just as good as the boys does for them.
Yeah.
So
and I think the thing you want to do is you want to keep your kids competitive. You want to keep them hungry at the end of the year, regardless of what's happened during the first.
And they had a long layoff, but now they have a string of games that's going to prepare them for that sub.
I think that layoff bothered both the boys and the girls teams at Heartland Lutheran.
15 days? That's a long time. For old guys like us, it'd be a welcome vacation, but not for kids.
Gone on vacation. We have two peak performers today. John Rowitter from Grand Island Central Catholic, weekend of his life.
Yeah.
29 against Lexington and 26 against number 1 Wahoo. 13 threes.
Oh, my goodness.
13 for 24. Is that what it was?
13 for 24, for the 2 days.
For the 2 days. Amazing. And we saw him, and he just gets that shot off so quickly, and he's always faced up and balanced.
Going to mention that, George, because with Wahoo's defense or any defense, they watch film. They're going to double team him. He's got to pull that trigger very quickly.
Right. And the only time we saw him when he seemed when he would go too quick, he would be a little off balance, but it's still a quick release. And he's squared up to the basket. He looked really good. And so John Rowitter, we're going to get a certificate to him, as we are out to Heartland Lutheran to Jake Simon.
Wow.
School record 8 threes last night against
talk about Rowitter.
Alcorn Valley. 8, count them.
Wow.
And that set a school record. In fact, the team set a school record with 15 threes in the game.
That is a lot of trees.
57-36 win. So 45 of their 57 points came from behind the arc.
I've just added that. Wow.
So we'll get a certificate out to Jake as well. So Jake Simon, John Rowitter, congratulations. You're our peak performer this week. And we will be back, I hope, next Monday if I'm not convalescing still.
We hope not.
Our broadcast, as usual, brought to you by Snap Fitness.
Can't do it.
Give them the snaps. Go down and see Ashley Snyder. She'll get you all fixed up to get you back in shape. Thanks to Elisa Reitz, our producer-director behind the camera. And Bobby, always a pleasure. We will see you next week on End of Week.
Visit Snap Fitness in Grand Island for all of your workout needs. State-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers will help you reach the exercise and health goals you have in mind. Located at 217 East Stolly Park Road in Grand Island.